and we're on to headlines. I'm gonna let you do a little choose your own adventure. So we got 4 headlines here. I think you know what one of them is about, maybe 2 of them. So I'm gonna let you choose the path we're going down. Where are we starting?
We got to start with this Chicago PD story. I got to see what's going on. I have no clue.
So do you know this story? Have you seen this today?
No.
So
today, this is like a very recent thing?
This is a very recent thing. Like this popped up today on the internet. I think it was from yesterday. So Corey Taylor, who lead singer of Slipknot, if you don't know who Corey Taylor is.
Let's go.
Legendary rock and roll band, legendary musician and singer and frontman. Slipknot just released a new album this week.
Haven't even listened
titled
yet.
The End So Far. I think I listened to half of one song and it sounds like Slipknot. But he was doing a Reddit AMA to promote the album and engage with fans because Corey Taylor is very anti-social media. And one user on Reddit posted a question to him saying, Corey, do you remember when you did an in-store signing back in 1999 at Rolling Stone Records in Chicago, where you guys decided to change into your jumpsuits, masks, behind a jewelry store? Then someone proceeded to call the cops on you thinking you were going in to rob a joint. Probably the most epic untold Slipknot early days moment.
Tight.
Corey then replies back saying, I do remember that. We were pulled out of the vans at gunpoint by CPD, but once they realized what was up, they gave us a police escort across the street and they served as security for the rest of the night at the event.
So is that an L? Like well, first of all, shout out Slipknot, because what a cool story. But like, who's taking the L here? I don't know if this is a Chicago PD L. This sounds like they went out and ended up like providing security, which is cool. I don't know. This seems like a good thing. This is almost like the most feel-good Chicago PD story I've heard in years.
It is, unintentionally. But I think CPD still takes the L because, like, come on, man. It's Slipknot. Yeah. Maybe in 1999, people didn't exactly know who or what Slipknot was or why there was a bunch of random dudes changing into jumpsuits and masks in the back alley in Chicago. But the fact that they're, like, pulling them out of vans at gunpoint, it's a lot.
Yeah, it does seem like a lot, but hey, the fact that they still, they figured out their mistake before taking them in and stuff like that, provided security. This, like I said, it feels like a good Chicago PD story compared to, what it could have been if Slipknot, got fucking shot or something like that. Like, that sounds terrible comparatively, you know what I mean? Okay. So, we're in a good place. Shout out Slipknot, shout out Corey Taylor. I need to check out the new album.
That's going to be on the
PD.
gym playlist later this afternoon. No, I just saw that. I know big fans of Slipknot here at the podcast.
Back.
And funny story. I low-key, I wish there was like a video footage from the security cameras back behind the jewelry store to get that whole thing on camera. That'd be wild.
That would have been so cool, honestly. Yeah. I bet it would have been a story that everyone knew, like every Slipknot fan knew if there was video footage, you know what I mean? Not just hearsay, but actual concrete footage, yeah.
I need like a behind the music. Slipknot behind the music.
Behind the jewelry store.
Featuring that.
Okay.
For real.
Yeah.
All right. From one slight L to a very, very significant L and a wide out in the open L. We are talking about controversy, scandal, cheating in the big wild world of professional fishing.
It's a dangerous game we play. You know what I mean? A lot more fish in the sea. You know what I mean? Okay.
When you put your hooks out there, you might just catch some fishy. You feel me?
Some fishy. No, that's super real. So yeah, this story I definitely also have seen. Did you see it first from the text from your dad?
No, I had seen it earlier that day, but Pops is in a think tank text chain with myself and Mike, and he sent us this story and demanded that we talk about this on the podcast. So here we are.
Yeah, facts.
Two just low life scumbag pieces of shit, Chase Kaminsky and Jake Runyon, were caught cheating at the largest Lake Erie competitive walleye fishing tournament this side of the Mississippi out in Ohio. So if anybody hasn't seen the videos, just search cheating, fishing, and literally 4 or 5 different angles of this is going to come up. But long story short, Chase and Jake turned in their bag of fish, which I'm not very familiar with competitive fishing, but I guess you just turn in a bag of fish and they weigh it, and the highest weight for your bag of fish wins the tournament, and then vice versa goes down the board, right?
Yep.
So I guess Chase and Jake, which, I mean, if we're just gonna, step aside here for a second and think of 2 names for people that would be caught cheating at a high stakes competitive fishing tournament, Chase and Jake are like front runners,
top of the line,
as far
right
as a team goes.
Yeah.
But that aside, they turned in the bag. I guess the guy that's running the whole thing kind of looked at the bag and looked at the fish and thought that they were probably about 20 pounds worth of fish. Hooks it up on the scale, rings up to 34. Starts thinking,
that's suspicious.
And Cardi, you're right. It was very suspicious. So he then took the fish out of the bag, kind of patted down the fish a little bit, gave him a once over, a physical, if you will, and felt some firm lumps in there that were a little too firm.
Yeah.
At that point, we
That's
get nasty
weird.
and we start
Exactly.
gutting these fish, and pulls out just weighted lure after weighted lure, wrapped in walleye fillets that they bought from Costco. I'm just assuming. I mean, if they're doing it on this big of a scale, they've got to have a Costco membership. It's the only economical way, right?
Yeah, facts.
These guys are like low-key lucky to be alive right now. Did you watch the video?
No, I didn't actually see the video. What happened?
So you gotta go back and watch the video, and you'll see what I'm talking about. But these guys, like, just a mob of competitive fishermen surround these guys.
Oh yeah, I remember they were
Just
mad. I heard the
cussing them out,
Call the police.
like saying, "Call the police. We
Yeah.
need to arrest these men. I'ma whoop your ass." And Chip, I'm all jacked up on Mountain Dew.
yeah.
And so at one point, the guy running the tournament goes, "Now, I want you two to get your shit, and I want you to get out of here, and I don't want nobody laying a hand on any of these two. Get your shit and get out of here."
Yeah. Oh my
And
god.
So I guess they left. There's an official investigation being conducted by the Ohio Department of Natural Resources because this story goes even deeper.
Oh shit.
Evidently, they have a history of winning tournaments over and over again at like a much more consistent clip than you probably should be winning these competitive fishing tournaments.
Yeah.
'Cause,
They're just really good
I'm not-
fishermen.
Well, and that's the thing. Like, you could be a really good fisherman, but there's still luck, right?
Yeah.
Like, you got somebody who's just an amateur out there just throwing shit in water and hoping to catch something. You could hook a 20-pound fish. It's not out of the equation.
Mm-hmm.
But evidently, they have been winning over and over again for like the past 5 or 6 months.
Ooh.
They've
Just all
won-
kinds of cheating.
They won like a $100,000 fishing boat for free. There's photos of them like with the big oversized victory checks
Yeah.
standing in front of the scales, and so they have won 6 figures worth of winning over the past years, and now all of this is being called into question.
Wow. 6 figures, man. And even when you see him in the video and you see him like the other guys are cutting open the fish and stuff, and they're stone faced, like they know what's in there. You know what I mean? They're not giving up the bag that easily, which I appreciate, but man, you could tell they're like, oh fuck, like this is over. Like, and especially
Yeah, like,
if it's
we're
now
done.
going back to the other competitions and stuff, like so done. Not even done, can't even describe it. You know what I mean? Jail. They're going through jail. You know what I mean?
Put them in jail.
I'd like to nominate these people punchable faces of the day. Stop cheating at fishing. What are we doing here? Just go out and catch fish. Like, are you gonna eat it or are you gonna cheat and just stuff lead balls down it? Sounds weird. You know what I mean?
That's weird.
I don't know what to think anymore. If
You shouldn't be
fishing,
stuffing lead balls in anything.
literally, if fishing isn't a sanctified sport, then what are we still doing here, man? Maybe the world deserves to take us out.
It's just, I don't know, man. If competitive fishing is no longer a sanctified safe space.
Exactly, sacred
for white men.
Yeah.
Then what does this world come to?
I'm dying. No, that's crazy. I mean, at the end of the day, it's never that. I mean, 6 figures. Maybe it was that important. I don't have many.
I mean, these boys want a boat.
Yeah.
They want a straight up boat.
Like, I don't have many ways to make 6 figures in a year.
But...
You know what I mean? And if they had a way to make 6 figures in a year, then maybe it is the vibe to go out and cheat on some shit, because it seemed like it was pretty easy. They were super getting away with it. Just got greedy,
real, dude.
If it weren't for you meddling other fishermen.
Well, they just like they were the bank robbers that didn't know how to lay low for a little bit. You know what I mean?
Exactly. Bro.
They got on a heater at the craps table or at the blackjack table counting cards, and they didn't know when to like lose 50K after they'd won 200.
Yeah. No, exactly. Rough, man. You hate to see it, but at the same time, you hate to see cheaters go free. So, fuck them.
We're gonna bookmark this and like pop back to it in a couple of weeks because I want to see how this investigation pans out.
Facts, yeah. The walleye mystery.
I'm just like picturing 10, 12, 14 months down the road, these 2 guys serving like an 8-month sentence in the county pen. Oh, what'd you get locked up for? Well, it all started with some lead balls.
Yeah. Okay. Funny as hell. What we got coming up?
Okay, we want to continue to talk about white men, or do we want to talk about smart white men?
Let's talk about smart white men first. What do they got?
Smart white men featuring Elon Musk coming to you today.
I need a boo sound effect. I need to just go boo.
You could just do the punchable face. Because Elon's got a very punchable
face, man. Yeah. Okay. I'm with that.
Especially when he makes those faces.
Yeah.
When he starts getting super like smart and introspective.
Yeah.
Right?
No, I know the feeling. I know the face.
So did you see this on Twitter? The Tesla and Elon introducing their artificial intelligence robot.
I did not.
So they had I believe it was their like 4th quarter investors meeting, or like maybe a yearly meeting of some sort. Like picture the meeting that they did, the Cybertruck unveiling where that window cracked.
Yeah.
But instead of unveiling the Cybertruck, they were unveiling an artificial intelligence robot that Elon Musk is touting will cost the average individual less than $200,000 to own. So I think he hasn't really put a timeline on it, but there are expectations that within 5 years you'd be able to purchase one of these and it would cost you less than $20,000, which is wild in and of itself.
$20,000 or 200?
20.
20. Okay. All right. That's way better. I thought you said it was less than $200,000, and I was like, that's a lot.
No,
but
yeah.
Okay.
I'd rather have a house. $20,000.
I know houses don't cost that these days. Yeah.
The first thing that I thought was funny, he named this robot Optimus. So clearly, big fan of Shia LaBeouf and the Transformers franchise. The next one might be Bumblebee. I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah, exactly.
But if you look at the robot, like it's not a very good robot. Like it's walking super clunky. It's no Boston Dynamics dog. That just, like, you can beat the shit out of it with a bat and it kicks up and barks at you. And a lot of quote unquote robotics professionals, which that's a Tinder bio if I've ever heard it.
Jesus.
But
okay.
But they said that Tesla's homegrown humanoid is a good initial design, but they go on to add that the company hasn't shown evidence that it can perform basic navigation, grasping, manipulation, or anything of substance. So they basically said, good effort, try again.
Yeah.
Come back next year.
Do more, like, make it better.
So they're saying it could be used for, they could be looking at like production facilities for making the cars, which, I mean, that could speed up their production and get more of them on the road, which would be good for overall revenue for the company and shareholders. But the reason I wanted to bring this up is because I specifically remember on Elon Musk's Joe Rogan podcast that tanked the Tesla stock because he was smoking weed on camera.
Let's go.
He started talking about artificial intelligence and how if we're not careful, iRobot could become a reality. And then a year and a half later, my man's coming out and just advertising robots that your average Joe Schmo could buy for $20,000. Seems like a real about face, if you're asking me.
It's an interesting juxtaposition because I will say this. One, of course, there's a lot of money to be made doing that. But two, you could also put parameters on the artificial intelligence. You know what I mean? It doesn't have to be some kind of machine learning robot that eventually is always going to want to kill humanity. You know what I mean? It doesn't have to be some kind of like robot that is controlled by a central robot. You know what I mean? But you know it will be. And I think that's the tough part. The real question is, would you get one of these?
Could it make me money?
What did they say that it does? Or like what's it supposed to do?
They haven't said anything yet. They're basically
Okay.
They're basically unveiling, hey, we built this. It's cool.
Yeah.
Which is why the other thing is I didn't really get why they were like displaying it, because it's not like it's ready for production.
Yeah.
They're like, hey, we built this thing and we're gonna try and make it a lot better and then sell it for less than 20 grand, and everybody shit their pants except for people that know things about robots.
Yeah, I mean, it sounds like a lot of wishful thinking, which is a lot of what Elon does, is wishful thinking. You know what I mean? It's not a whole lot of practicality as it comes to his, scientific fantasies. But with the robot, I'm down. I think it could make you money. You know what I mean? Depending on what
true.
it is. You know what I mean? Like, if it has decent amount of dexterity, you could do you could have it doing your sleeve swaps. That could be cool. If
That's
it had a decent amount of knowledge, you could get that man a job, get that thing a work from home job that just it works at your crib all day, basically. Yeah, it's doing like data entry. It's literally just converting like paper data into a system. I don't know. That could net you an easy $50K a year if you put your social security on that. Fuck it. I don't know. It doesn't seem like a bad idea, but the fact that like the Ring and Alexa are already spying on our homes for Amazon, I don't know if I want Elon and Tesla in my home just yet. But
No.
if it makes me money, it might be worth it.
I don't want that at all. And the fact that Google, like people at Google were saying that their artificial intelligence is getting smart enough that it created its own language that it was like talking to each other with.
Yeah.
I pull the plug, man. We're hitting too close to Will Smith's first big blockbuster. You know what I mean?
I think
that's too much.
Yeah, that's definitely the part where it's like I'm fine with not going too far. You know what I mean? Because making an AI program that is smart enough to develop its own language and talk to another AI and go back and forth. And I do remember that, and they ended up being like, yeah, we should kill humans, right? Wasn't that part of the ending? But
Yeah.
Exactly, like it always is. But if we give that a body, that's a problem. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because then it takes that talking language of let's kill humans to, oh, let's kill humans and we have arms and a body.
Yeah, it's like I'm fine with it being like, let's kill humans on my computer screen because I'm like, haha, off. You know what I mean? It'd probably get to a point where it like can deactivate the on-off switch, which is crazy. But no, I'm not here for it if it gets updates from Tesla like a Tesla would. You know what I mean? Because eventually they're going to put the update in that now I can communicate with other AIs in that machine.
That's why I'm out on the Neuralink. Like, I don't want a Tesla chip in my head and, an AI Tesla robot in my home is pretty damn close to a Tesla chip in my head. Plus, I can think of much better things to spend 20 grand on.
Facts. Well, it depends on what it does. You know what I mean? Because if you spend
if
20
it could
grand
make that
on
20
it,
grand
I'm saying
back
exactly.
in 3 months, the ROI is much better than the market. So, I don't know.
If every quarter it's making you 10 grand, right? Let's say that. And that's low if you get you some kind of job, right? If you're getting a really low end menial, if it's flipping burgers, you know what I mean?
Are you telling me I'm about to be dropping my AI robot off at the factory right after I drop my kids off at school in a couple years?
That could be a vibe. I'm just saying it could be paying for your kid's whole schooling, and then you can go off and do whatever you want.
Give him a sack pail lunch.
Yeah, he doesn't need a lunch.
A book to read on lunch.
It's a
on his
robot.
lunch break.
Don't give him books. Don't give him extra knowledge. It's gonna turn him
In the
evil.
sack lunch is just a little can of like oil and some microchips.
I see what you did there. Micro. Nice.
He's dipping his chips in oil like you would salsa. You feel me?
This guy is a fucking comedian. I don't know, man. I'm not here for the AI just yet, but at the same time, I do think it's cool. You know what I mean? Give me the robot. Let me decide. I think as long as I can jailbreak it, that's the real thing. If I can jailbreak the robot,
like you did iPhones back in the day.
Exactly. I think that's part of the problem because like for the the IP, the intellectual property and stuff, Apple just needs to update their what's it called, operating system every once in a while, and then you're not allowed under their terms of agreement, terms of service, to edit that in any way, right? I think that's stupid.
Bro, if you could jailbreak these robots, there would be robots on the corner in the hood in 2 weeks.
Oh yeah, tight. Not tight. That sounds terrible. But that's a way for it to make even more money. You mean you go out and have it rob?
Scheming, man.
Yes.
Scheming.
That's what we're here for. We're here to make billions. Welcome to the podcast.
All right. We are. We're gonna get to our weekly Kanye feature because my man stepped in it. But before we get into some hot water with Ye, I have an off the call sheet thing that I want to get your perspective on. So I saw this on Instagram from another podcast over in Australia.
Yeah.
Can't remember the name, but they brought up an interesting point. And they said, if you're chilling in the pool with your mates and you're just having a couple of beers, having a couple pops with your mate, and your mate, we'll call him Trevor, he pees in the pool. Everybody's like, Trevor, what the fuck, mate? That's disgusting. Get out into the pool and go to the bathroom. But if you're having those beers and Trevor gets out of the pool, pulls down his pants, and then starts peeing in the pool from the side of the pool, everybody's like, well, Trevor, that's fucking hilarious. What are you doing, mate? So where do we draw the line on that? I think it would be very funny, and that's like a Jackass skit that would just get everybody doubled over and laughing if somebody did that. Like, can you imagine Johnny Knoxville in his old man bad grandpa costume?
Well, definitely. I could definitely imagine that. Yeah.
Getting out of the pool.
Okay, well, yes, I could definitely imagine that. But either way, he peed in the pool. Like, I'm not. I'm mad as fuck. Like, I'm not. It's kind of funny, but it's not like cool at all. Either way, if I'm in the pool, I'm mad. Whether you were outside when you peed in it or inside, that's not cool.
There's another interesting
and I don't
take
think that's
from this
controversial.
Australian podcast.
Okay.
These Australians, man, they're wild, dude. They're wild.
I know, yeah. I feel it.
Another interesting Australian take that they had on this podcast. If our taste buds are on the top of our tongue, why don't we eat toast upside down?
Some people do. I definitely have. Like a Pop-Tart. You ever eat a Pop-Tart upside down?
No.
Yeah, I definitely be eating Pop-Tarts like frosting side down sometimes. Well, I think that's the real thing.
On purpose or by accident?
Oh, on purpose. Because you got to hit the taste buds with the food. You know what I mean? You've never done that?
I've never done that.
No, they're onto something with this one. So I think that's something. I've done this with toast too, I'll tell you. If you're like have jelly on toast or something like that, and you're like, man, I really want that jelly to hit, then you can eat it jelly side down. Or if you're like, when I'm chewing, it's all gonna get mushed up, and then eventually I'll get all the flavors, right? That's when you can eat it, jelly side up. But I think they're completely honest. I eat like a Pop-Tart, for example, I would eat, or like a toaster strudel, icing side down, my guy. What are we talking about? Why put icing on it if you're just gonna like icing side up your toaster strudel?
How often are we going icing side down? And another thing, when's the last time you had a toaster strudel?
I think that's the better question. Years. It's been years. But still, like, I'm trying to think of something else that I would eat like that. Like, are
you eating pizza upside down? That's just a disaster waiting to happen.
Okay, well, that's a different one because if we're talking about toppings falling off, that sounds terrible. You know what I mean? And yeah, like pizza's kind of different. I don't know. It's looser. You know what I mean? I'm trying to think of something else. Like, I don't know. I can't think of much else. Fuck. What else is like? Do you spread some shit on it? If it's like garlic bread, sometimes, you know what I mean? Okay. How about this? Also been years since I've had it, but what's it called? Olive Garden breadsticks, right?
Bro, I haven't been to Olive Garden in
Neither have I. But the top of the breadstick
comes out of a microwave.
The top of the breadstick is the better part. So you eat it top
That's true.
side down for sure.
I do that one. I'm with you on that one.
And that's what I say. It's the same thing across all mediums, except for like pizza, which I still think is the same thing with pizza, but like it's just tougher. You know what I mean? You have to have some strong pizza.
Okay.
You know?
All right. Well, the boys from Down Under are batting 500.
Let's go.
You know, 1 for 2.
With me,
don't
man.
Pee in
I
pools.
don't. You can pee in the pool, but I'm hopping out and I'm mad.
All I'm saying is Johnny Knoxville in the bad grandpa costume.
Just eating a Pop-Tart upside down and pissing in the
Peeing in
pool.
the
Just
pool.
straight. Yeah. Nice.
Oh, come on, man.
Jesus.
Oh, that'd be a good one. That'd be a good one.
Let's go. What's
All
next,
right.
man? I can't.
Should we get into some
Kanye?
some touchy topics?
Oh, bro.
Have you seen this one? Do you know what I'm talking about here?
Yeah, definitely. I
I'm
don't
gonna let
know
you
if I get
take the lead because I've got some notes and some things he did, but I'm letting you take the reins on this one.
So this is at his Yeezy fashion show in France, right?
Mm-hmm.
He and Candace Owens are photographed wearing White Lives Matter t-shirts, Ye and Candace Owens. And then he proceeded to wear that for the rest of the fashion show. A lot of celebrities, including Jaden Smith, I think is one of the only ones that I had actually registered, had left the fashion show after they saw that shit. And then later he takes to Instagram to post on his story being like, we all knew Black Lives Matter was a scam. It's over now. You're welcome. Like, I think that's pretty much where my knowledge ends. You know what I mean? I don't, what else you got on it?
So on top, he didn't just wear the White Lives Matter shirts to the show.
Word.
He had like models walking the runway at his show, also in White Lives Matter shirts.
I hate it here.
So
God.
that is then why like people like Jaden Smith. There was somebody from like Louis Vuitton who walked out. I think Gigi Hadid was there who
Yeah.
also walked out.
She
and was
also
like,
dropped
"Man,
a
fuck
comment
you."
on Instagram. Yeah.
So he then like you said went onto Instagram and was like, you know, Black Lives Matter was a scam, which is a wild take. And then he went off on Louis Vuitton CEO, and I did not write down his name, so regrets. But he was pointing blame at Louis Vuitton CEO, like basically saying, you killed my brother, like saying he killed Virgil Abloh when Virgil Abloh had terminal cancer, and like saying all this brazy shit about how he was saying how Virgil's fashion was bad for the black community at Yeezy meetings before Virgil died, and now he loves Virgil, and basically just trying to like alienate anybody that still sort of fucked with him on any kind of level.
Whoa.
And on top of it, he's wearing a mouth guard to the fashion show.
Nice. He's really into that like football fashion these days. Sports fashion.
And then Boozy Badass Lil Boozy had one of the best takes, I think, out of any of this, where he just tweeted out a white face photo of Kanye.
Oh, yeah.
And he just said with the caption of "just do it." I was like, man, like I think he knows what he's doing. Like, I think he's at this point a person that isn't necessarily mentally stable at all times, but I think he's a very intelligent person that, like, there's no way you do something like this without having it be well thought out and intended to ignite like uproar and get people pissed off at you. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I agree. And I don't know, man. I vehemently despise anyone who uses the like kind of the hate propaganda like marketing shit. So if that is the case, fuck that. There's no good reason for him to do it, honestly, is the real thing. I don't understand it. Like, and he had even said before with the MAGA hats and stuff like that, where he was wearing them, and he eventually disavowed his wearing of the MAGA hat, saying like, oh, I didn't get what it meant to people. You know what I mean? What the issue was in a lot of cases. I just saw it as something that people disliked, and he put it on for it to be like, oh, I'm flipping it, I'm making it cool. Same thing as he's worn, you know, Confederate flags in the past and stuff like that during like the Yeezus tour. So it's like, as much as I feel where he's coming from with that argument, you lose even more credibility, fans, like
you missed the mark
ounce
on
of
it,
self-respect. Yeah, every time something like this happens, so the Confederate flag, and then the MAGA hats, and then the White Lives Matter shirts, like, bro, it's indefensible. Like, I at no point was defending Kanye wearing the MAGA hat, but now it's like, what do I even say? You know what I mean? The music's not great anymore. The fashion is about to likely have a pretty crazy turn if these deals go under. Even people who have always defended him are now finding it tough. So where does it go from here? What is the point? You know what I mean? You feel me?
I think it goes from here to a 2024 political campaign, because we know that's where it's going. Like, are we about to see a Trump West ticket in 2024? Is that how crazy that year's about to get?
That would be tight, honestly. I think that'd be the coolest way for that to resolve. That way I could just vote against him and then call it a day. And then I just never have to see it again, hopefully. But, oh my God. Can
you just picture Donald Trump at rallies going, I love black people. Kanye West, he's my best friend. He's my VP.
Oh, Jesus.
God damn. Man.
Yeah. I've run out of things to say about it. You know what I mean? I just don't even... I'm waiting on him to say something, because I will say this. The Black Lives Matter thing, if you're specifically talking about the... I guess it's not a charity, but the... I don't know, the activist group or something like that. I think it's been proven that there were some bad actors higher up in the actual organization of Black Lives Matter, specifically, like the nonprofit or whatever it's categorized as. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But, like, to go the opposite route and hit the White Lives Matter t-shirt, same thing as putting, like, the thin blue line flag up. Same thing as, like, wearing a Confederate flag these days, bro. Like, that's not... It's so different from saying, like, Black Lives Matter wasn't as cool as it could have been versus, like, White Lives Matter t-shirt. You know what I mean? Like, that's... It's not like the same thing.
You can call out the scumbags within the organization and, like, the non-for-profit. And you can be like, yo, there are some bad seeds in that organization, while acknowledging that the intent of the entire movement and the intent of the wording Black Lives Matter was legitimate and had what's the word I'm looking for, some legitimacy behind it. But to go full heel and wear the White Lives Matter shirt, and then to push it even further and just call, like, the whole movement a scam, it's like, I feel like are we at the point where we have to disavow Kanye West?
Getting there, you know what I mean? I'm not I disavow this action for sure. I don't know if I disavow the person yet, but at the end of the day, like, you know, that sucks. Fuck that guy. Like,
I feel like we're at the point where it's it's like what happened with Michael Jackson and what's happened with R. Kelly, right? We have to separate the individual from the dope stuff that he's done. Like, I still am going to bump Through the Wire and Jesus Walks and Good Life and Homecoming and all of these banger tracks. I'm still going to rock some Yeezys, but I'm going to disavow the actions of that. Can we call him deranged? Is that too far?
I mean, do you think, man? That's all I got.
There.
Yeah.
He's out there. Of this out there individual.
And there was a football player. I'm trying to figure out who said it, but there was a football player that, like, after the shirt said, oh yeah, he's one of the good ones, like, I like Kanye, blah blah blah. And just that right there, and it was a white football player, of course, I forget.
Ooh.
Exactly. And he said he's one of the good ones in relation to that t-shirt, and he's
you
like,
can't
oh yeah,
say that.
it's like, bro, you're literally just saying, like, oh, he's one of the good black people. Like, no, man, tokenism, the absolute tokenism. I hate it. What is going on? Like, maybe it's just because Kanye is now a billionaire and is only rolling in circles with people of that, like, mindset and shit like that. It's like, man, you gotta expand your tastes, expand your horizons, get back to the streets, because that shit is not flying down here, 100%.
I mean, shit, just get back to the basics and be friends with Jay-Z again. Like, come on, man.
There's no way Jay-Z would be friends with Kanye.
Associate with him anymore.
Yeah.
No.
Jay-Z,
like,
Kid Cudi, nah, gone.
he's alienated himself from, at this point, the entire hip hop community.
Oh yeah,
I feel like
100%. Sucks, man.
Should we get back to like some happy and uplifting things?
Yes.
Yeah. You want me to cheer you up?
Yes, I need it.
All right. Well, let's get to some segments.
Oh, also, by the way, we're getting to segments with Kanye West. Punchable face.
Yeah.
There it is.
Take the mouth guard out first. I want to fuck up his teeth.
He can keep the mouth guard in for now. We're not fully disavowing just yet. All right.
We're getting damn close.
Yeah, damn close. Yeah. What we got coming?
You now listen to the UKNO podcast with your boy Mike Watts and Jay Kraft. Follow us on Apple Music and Spotify. Hit all the social links. Make sure you rock with us every week.